We are just on the Turkish side of the border, on a hilltop, surrounded by a crowd, and understandably so, because what we are seeing, as you say, it is pretty extraordinary. And you should start to make out some figures on the top of that ridgeline. They are, we're pretty confident, ISIS fighters in action. What those fighters are doing has been part of a broader offensive in this region for the last week or so, moving through this northern region of Syria, through what is largely ethnically Kurdish territory towards the town of Kobani, which is just south from here. These fighters have been on that ridge line for the better part of the afternoon, trading small arms fire with their Kurdish opponents on an opposing ridgeline, still seeking shelter there, trying to use that territory to their advantage and protect themselves from incoming fire from their Kurdish opponents. As I speak, there is small arms fire being traded. I'm not sure if you can hear it over our microphones, but that's what's been going on really for the last few hours. And in addition to that, we've been hearing a lot of heavy artillery fire as well. Mortars. One sailed in and struck not far from that ISIS position. The fighting, it is still ongoing, even as dusk falls right now. And this is the sort of fighting that is going on throughout this region here of northern Syria. Those Kurdish fighters on the ground are telling us that ISIS is not just advancing from the east, where we are, but they are also advancing from the south and the west as well. The local fighters have been able to slow that advance somewhat, but over the last couple of days, ISIS has still made progress. What I started to touch on earlier, what I think is quite striking as you see those fighters out in the open on the top of that ridge there, is that they are being they are not being interfered with at all by any form of air power. And that's really a crucial point that the fighters on the ground have made to us, and indeed the many refugees that we've been talking to crossing into Turkey in recent days. They've all been asking the question, where is this coalition air fire that is striking ISIS positions elsewhere in Syria, elsewhere in Iraq, we are told, but not here on the ground, where ISIS is still advancing, still trying to claim new territory, where refugees tell us they have still been killing innocent civilians in villages that they come to and take control of. So that is the scene here, an extraordinary scene as dusk is falling here on the Syrian border. ISIS fighters in action. We just saw tracer fire move across the skyline there. Something of an ooh and an ah from the crowd here. This crowd of Turkish Kurds, when they've seen a lot of incoming fire going into that ISIS position, they've been cheering their Kurdish brothers on the other side. So what is clear, as I say, dusk is falling, but John, the fight is very much continuing.